All right, folks, settle into the couch because today we're joined by someone who truly lives and breathes cult cinema. Jesse is the voice behind the Cult Cinema Circle podcast, a show dedicated to celebrating the weird, the wild, the forgotten, and the films that never asked for mainstream approval. And honestly, these movies wouldn't want it anyways. Through deep dives, passionate discussion, and genuine love for offbeat filmmaking, Jesse has built a space where midnight movies, VHS nostalgia, and cinematic oddities get the respect they deserve. Whether it's low budget insanity, genre gems, or movies that feel like they were discovered in a dusty video store corner, Jesse champions them all with insight and infectious enthusiasm. We are excited to talk cult classics, movie obsessions, and what keeps the strange side of cinema alive. So kick back, grab your favorite snack, and help us welcome Jesse from the Cult Cinema Circle podcast. Hello,
Welcome,
Jesse.
Jesse.
Holy shit, that was such a good description, by
It's
the
a
way.
good bio, right? He's really good at it.
I really
Nice
hope
job.
you made that. I really hope you made that all up by yourself because I might
did-
just have to steal it from you.
I have a master's degree in English
And he's
and
wasting
a bachelor's
doing
degree
podcasting.
in screenwriting. So yes, I write all this myself. I spent a lot of time
But-
Googling you and listening to you.
because fuck AI. But
Right.
also like I might actually steal that from you and put it on my stuff. So
Yeah.
but I will give you credit if you want to. Don't get me wrong, but like
Right.
my shit that I made, like my stuff that I made, I was just like, okay, here's my whatever.
Well, it's
But
hard
I
to
was like, that's
describe
perfect.
it's hard to describe yourself and put
Right.
your own bio together, right?
Yes.
Totally.
I'm too self-deprecating. It would just be,
Yeah.
I
it would
know,
just be
right?
like I'm, bashing
Yeah.
myself the whole time.
No,
sure.
totally. Yeah, I get that. And then I'm also trying to not be as self-deprecating, but I get you.
We
It's-
talked to a few authors and stuff, and I always say they should just put your description on a jacket belt.
On a book,
I know,
yeah.
right?
I can write your book jackets for you. There you go.
Hell yeah. But I will be emailing you later, honestly, to be like, hey, can you give me
No.
some of that so I can like maybe
Absolutely.
use a little bit of it?
I'd be more than happy to share it with you.
I'll be like, hey, here you go.
So Jesse,
Spell.
tell us all about your journey, your film journey, your podcast journey. What
Mhm.
made you the cult cinema guy? What brought about that love?
Well, I mean, my love of movies just goes back all sorts of ways. But really, I mean, the way the podcast started was back in 2022, I decided to become unemployed. And I was unemployed for a few months.
Okay.
It was a really tough, it was just a job that I wasn't into, and like I was unemployed for a bit. I ended up getting a job elsewhere. But in the meantime, I was watching a lot of just random films and stuff and using Letterboxd probably more and stuff like that. And so I decided, because I was inspired by, places like, the horror queers and like movies that made us gay and these different podcasts I was listening to, I was like, well, you know what, if these people can do it and they seem like normal ass people, why can't I do this? And so in August, I think of 2022, I decided to start my pod on my old ass MacBook that I had that I have gotten rid of now. Or
Upgrade.
yeah, exactly. And so a little bit.
Yeah.
This thing was from like 2012. I'm surprised it was still even working. But anyway, but what it was is that I started with I think you remember that Twitter thing? It was 10 movies to know me. Like, do you
Mhm.
remember that little
Oh,
tag?
Yep.
And so my first 10 episodes of the pod were like the 10 movies to know me, I guess, right? Or whatever kind of a thing. And then I just kind of kept it going from there. And really, I mean, my kind of like way of doing it has evolved where I've moved away from like plot summary, like beat by beat sort of stuff. But also I want to kind of dig into, yes, like production history stuff, things like that, but also being able to talk about, what we think of characters, what we think of the themes of this, what is this movie trying to say?
Yeah.
If anything, I guess.
Sure.
And cult cinema for me has just been something. I mean, I was thinking of doing horror because I love horror movies. Even though I haven't really been watching as many all the time, like I have my Shudder subscription and I watch
Oh, yeah.
things on there here and there, but also it's like, it's not all I consume, but I didn't want to just do horror, I guess, even though I love horror podcasts. So for me, I was like, well, what else could I do, I guess? And I was always kind of interested in movies that were, like you said, Josh, off the beaten path or just kind of forgotten or whatever it is. And I kind of maybe wanted to focus my attention on those. And what's kind of fun too is also there's this sort of thing of, especially in cult cinema, I guess you could call it, that There's a definition of it, but there's also, like, depending on who you ask, there's all sorts of
Totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what
Everybody
cult,
sees it differently. Yep.
yeah, it's what cult you choose to belong.
Sure, and
Yeah.
I just think, like, that's really interesting to me, and it kind of makes it so that, a lot of different things can be cult movies, but I generally do try to, like, focus on,
The
I
lesser
don't know,
known
lesser
the
known
yeah.
things or just B movies a little bit, but, like, when this is coming out, probably in February sometime, like, I'm doing a theme of, like, opposites attract, for example, so, I'm not always a theme type of person, but I do sometimes like doing that, and if anything, it's kind of a nice little
Jumping
it's a
off point.
nice
Yeah.
jumping off point to kinda get me thinking of what I wanna cover,
Yeah.
and all of that, but yeah, that's pretty much my story. I've been doing it since August 2022. I have appeared on a couple of different pods, some that I don't even remember. Oh, but mainly you've heard me on, probably, if your listeners want to go listen to me.
Yeah.
I've been on the Horror Queers podcast covering All About Evil, the Peaches Christ film about single screen theaters and Natasha Lyonne maybe killing people, I guess. Anyway, that movie. I've been on the Buddies Movies That Made Us Gay, Scott and Pete, love them. Go listen to them if you want to go hear some great pods. I've been
Right.
on there for Beautiful Thing, Party Monster, where we did
Oh,
both the
we
documentary
love
and the
Party.
movie.
Yeah. Both
We
good.
hated it, but it's
Really?
fine.
Oh,
I love it.
I
the
think
whole I love
Seth Green is doing great work in that. Macaulay is phoning it in my
Yeah,
opinion.
but I think
No.
it was his first return to film. So
Yeah,
to me,
it's
as a kid of the '80s, I was just happy to
well,
see him back.
it's
That was the big
that
thing. And then he did Saved, and
that
He's
whole
better
and
in
that
Saved.
that
he is
whole
better than
world.
Saved.
Yeah.
More
And
reserved.
just the whole world of Party Monster, all of like James
It's
St. James, like that
crazy.
whole world
Right.
they lived in.
It's
Illig, right?
crazy.
Michael Illig, is that his name?
Alec.
Yeah, Michael
Alec,
Alec.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hated it. And also go listen to it of like
That's
why
all-
we hated it.
No, I love that. No,
And then
'cause
we just
sometimes that's
did
the most fun thing to listen to.
it was, and I
Is
don't think
why
we
it didn't work.
realized we didn't mean to it, but it was just kind of like, yeah, no, this movie's not that good. But
Did
like,
you feel this?
whatever.
But what were your thoughts on the documentary?
The documentary is really interesting, I will say, and Screaming Rachel is so fascinating to me as a person. I just, that was interesting. And then we just recently last year did The Legend of Billie Jean, which is a fucking banger.
Yeah, we were just talking about that movie.
That's like my childhood.
The movie rocks. It's so good, and
Yeah.
I think more people need to watch it because it's fantastic. And really,
I had called out the what was it, Ladies and Gentlemen, the Fabulous Stains.
I
And
love
said,
that movie too. That movie fucking rocks.
I just did a whole bit on it, but I think it was because I said it was like I can't remember what I said. Spinal Tap meets Legend of Billie Jean. So I said-
Kind of, sort of. I'm not even gonna lie
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah,
And also,
yeah.
like, oh my god, please, everyone, go watch Ladies and Gentlemen, the Fabulous Stains because
Diane
Diane
Lane
is
is amazing. Like,
Laura Dern.
Laura
Like,
Dern.
are
Yeah,
you kidding
crazy.
me? Like,
yeah,
no, that movie's actually really good, and it's also such a takedown, interestingly enough, on just consumerism, music industry,
Yeah.
lots of things going on in that movie.
image.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So good. I'm gonna cover it on the show. It's gonna happen one of these days.
Gonna have to do that one. Let us know. We'll come talk about it.
I might have to do that actually.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna lie to you.
but
Yeah.
So
Bell,
I gotta ask
Bell and I
you-
have been having these. I'm sorry, Bell and I have been
No,
having these same conversations for 30 years.
Yeah.
Everybody always said put a microphone in front of yourselves. That's kind of how we got here. But we also, our show adapted to a point where
Yeah.
we didn't start with topics, but now we kind of every week branch into some conversation. But it's always just a jumping off point.
Yeah,
Because
Totally.
everything's up in my head that
Yeah.
I want to talk about. So
Well,
it's just
yeah,
about
you
getting an
wanna-
avenue.
Yeah, and it's also you don't want it like for me, like I've done a few of them, like I've done like franchise rankings, right? Where I've done like I did the Friday the 13th movies.
yeah.
And I also did the Texas Chainsaw movies. I did them both with my buddy Pickens. And that means I have watched all Friday the 13th movies 2 times now.
Wow,
Twice.
that's a lot.
And some of them
For
are not.
you-
That's a
few
lot. That's a
people.
lot for some of them.
Yeah.
And honestly, I kind of like them, but I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. Like some of those things are horrible.
Oh, yeah.
But but there's that. I've done like I also did one with Pickens where we did a slumber party for sorority horror. That was another thing
Yeah.
we did.
I love
Um,
the old
thinking
Slumber
of-
Party Massacre movie.
Yeah.
yes, we talked about those. We talked about a bunch of other ones. like, it was a slumber party because we're both gay and, like, why not? But, like, sorority horror but, like, we did talk about Slumber Party Massacre before, actually, but sorority horror is really interesting because there is a subgenre of that.
Yeah.
I have another one planned, not with Pickens, but with someone else. It's a little
Nice.
tease, but we are gonna be talking about horror maybe later this summer, I guess, so
Yeah.
that'll be a fun time.
I love it.
Right, right.
That's hilarious. So I've been listening to your podcast for a little while. And it's because of one particular episode that
What?
you do monthly. You do a
I like
monthly
that.
episode that I love. I
Yeah.
love because it's very much the style of what Dave and I do. It's your what I watched this month.
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff because so Dave mentions we go in with a topic, but
Yeah.
the point of our topic is to highlight maybe the underseen or the forgotten
Yeah.
films
Yeah.
within those genres or those
We
topics.
end up talking a lot about silent movies, and
We
that's
do
not a
end up going
there's
down
not a
some weird
huge fan base for that
right.
stuff, so that's why
Right.
I'm shocked that all 7 people listen to this, but
Yeah. Right.
But every month I look forward to your what I watched because that's how I branch out. That's how I get new movies to then come and talk about on this show.
Yeah.
I because if I just sit and let the algorithm tell me what to watch, I'm gonna get stuck in my own little echo chamber and only watch the same thing over and over. And that gets
Yeah.
really boring.
Like the rest
That's
of
So
society.
yeah,
awesome.
I
Yeah.
love that episode. I was just looking, I was like, okay, I remember the December episode, the January. Oh, it's still January.
I'm
January is the
recording it
longest month.
tomorrow or,
Yeah,
like, somewhere around there
yeah,
because it's the last day of the month,
it
so I
is.
gotta yeah, so but thank you so much for
Yeah,
listening about those.
yeah,
I was
I
really
love them.
inspired by, honestly, like, shout out to some of these YouTubers, Haunted Hippie, Sarah Hawkinson or Possessed by Horror. Karsten Rundquist, I think he does one as well. Spooky Astronauts as well, Emma from Australia. Like some of these people who I love that kind of shit too, because really it's like if it was just up to me, I would just be watching like a bunch of horror stuff and
Sure.
like living single every so often, right? Or whatever else.
Yeah.
So there's that, but like, also I love Living Single. That show's so good. But anyway, it's but I also like to kind of know like what maybe people think, which is something where it's like, it could be both not super bad, I guess. Not the movie super bad, but like it's one of those things where I want to go into a movie for myself, I guess.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
like getting the recommendations of like, if this person might have liked this, maybe I'll see what I think of it, I guess. So it's hard not to inform an opinion
Well,
based off of someone
yeah.
else, but at the same time, I'm also just like, well, I mean, if anything, you could also just go into it for yourself and maybe you'll
Mhm.
like it, and maybe you won't. I
Yeah,
don't know.
absolutely, absolutely, and
I take recommendations all the time. That's
yeah.
a double-edged sword though, because sometimes somebody I'll think has very like tastes and
Right.
they'll suggest something and I'm like, I didn't really like it, but I think it's because I
Mhm.
built it up because they like it. You know
because
what I
it was
mean?
this person.
True.
Yeah.
And I'm not
And
going to
everyone
stop telling
has
people though.
And everyone has
No.
their own opinions, and I think that's
Absolutely.
fine, and,
Mhm.
whatever. Like, for people, I mean, we're on the precipice of the Oscars, not next
Yes.
month, but the month after.
Right.
Like, I just watched one battle after another, and it was cool, but, like, do I want it to win? Not really.
Yeah, see, I do, but
See,
I
yeah.
haven't seen Sinners yet.
I'm
And that
waffling.
I'm gonna
Oh,
watch that this weekend.
so
I know.
good.
I
I'm
know. I've heard.
waffling
I know.
between one battle after another and Sinners. I haven't made it.
I'm
I
on the
haven't
Sinners
decided
train,
yet.
honestly. I'm
Yeah.
on the Sinners train because
Yeah.
that movie fucking rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nominated for 16 awards. I want it to win many, but if Delroy Lindo doesn't win, he is the one that has to win. If it wins nothing else, for me it has to win that one because
I would love it.
his Delta Slim is a fantastic character, and he just But
You know what's funny about that too, and it was just in the news not too long ago, is that some idiot at a award show or like one of the red carpets or something, who apparently had like 300 followers or something like that, literally said to Delroy Lindo, like, "Oh, what's it like being an emerging artist on the scene?" And
Really?
literally, Delroy
Wow.
Lindo was so nice about it, and he literally had to say, like, "So I've been also around for a while."
A long time,
And
yeah. Yeah.
and I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know that much about Delroy Lindo. It's not like I'm a huge
Yeah.
giant fan, but I was just like, just looking a cursory Google
Just
search of
Yeah.
this man
A
will
lot. It
tell
goes back
you
40 years,
40
35
years.
years.
Yeah.
this guy was nominated for a Tony back in the 80s.
Yes.
This guy is in a fucking Spike Lee movie in
Yeah.
Malcolm X. Like,
Yeah.
this guy has had a career.
Yes.
If you were talking to Miles Caton, I think that would make total sense
Yes.
for verbiage. Like, of like, hey, Miles, what's it like being this like emerging actor person? And this is your first movie ever, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I think that makes total sense as a journalist. For you to say to 70-something-year-old Delroy Lindo, however the fuck old he is,
Yeah.
who has been in this industry since before your parents might have even been born.
Right.
Like, why? And you literally got the chance to go to this red carpet. What the fuck?
And this is what you say.
And that's what you
You don't do even a tiny bit of research. You don't Google
None.
something
Nothing.
immediately
Like,
as you
where?
see him walking up
As you see
before
him
you talk
walking
to
up,
him.
what should I say? What can I bring up?
I
What can I
don't-
bring? Ooh, Malcolm
don't
X.
get
I can bring
it.
up Malcolm X.
I don't get it. And
Yeah.
you might as well do that. Like, if I did that, I'd be like, oh, hey, like, butt it out, or whatever the hell else you want to. But like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, and this is a person who gets to be on a red carpet asking a question.
It doesn't seem right.
Really?
I mean, they haven't seen Get Shorty. What do they know about film?
And I see these hoes, and I see all these other, like, not hoes, but like, but I have these other people who I look at, and I like their work. I like their journalistic work, and these bitches do not get anything that like that. Like, they get their. They don't always. Like, you have some people who do, but these folks who I like and who journalists hopefully you do enjoy, right? Like,
Right.
but they don't get to do this shit where
No.
they get to all have
Access.
that.
Yeah.
But then you have
Red
some
carpet access.
person,
Yeah.
you have some person who. That's what I literally said to my friend when we were talking about it. I literally was like, okay, forgive me, but I either said I was like, he either knows somebody or he sucks someone off. It's one of those two.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or both.
I'm-
It could be both.
Or both.
Like, I
Yeah.
met him,
literally
so
was
I did
like-
it.
I literally was like, this is like, yeah, because I saw my friend posted that, a buddy of mine, and I was just like, I had to watch it real quick, and I was just like, are you kidding me? And by no means am I a journalist by any stretch of the imagination. Would I want to do that stuff? I don't know, maybe. I was in journalism in high school, but it's one of these things where it's like, but I'm just like, wait a fucking minute. Like, are you kidding me on the Delroy Lindo thing? It's just like, it makes no sense. Like, why? This is the state of journalism now, everybody.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I saw an interview.
You have
one
to like
time-
kind of.
Yeah. I saw an interview with Lawrence Fishburne one time, and they asked him why he was making Capital One commercials. Because Lawrence Fishburne and Samuel Jackson are the same guy.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And also, number two, like, so
You're still an
like,
idiot.
You're still an idiot.
Yeah.
Also, let's hope that Dennis Haber has a bag, honey. Let's really hope. Come on. That
Yeah.
guy, the Allstate guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, my
yeah.
God.
Yeah. Dennis Haysbert. I love him. He's
I
got the
love him
greatest,
too.
one of the greatest voices.
Talking about melodramas like you've talked on your show before,
Yeah.
Far From Heaven.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot
Ah.
about Far From Heaven. Good call out. I
We'll
love it.
talk a little bit about it. Not too much, but the guy
Yeah.
who made that also is involved in our movie today. Kind of, sort of, in a
Oh.
way.
In a way, all right.
Well, yeah, because, connected a little to it. I mean, he wasn't
Yeah.
born when it happened, but I mean, he's involved.
Okay.
He's
I want to hear the
involved.
connection. Yeah.
I'm excited.
What's after the fact? It's after the fact.
So you've done what, couple hundred episodes or so now?
Zillions of ones. I think it's like
Wait.
200. And let me check my own self. Hold on, wait a minute.
While you're looking at that, what's the movie that surprised you the most? Like that you
Ooh,
didn't know about before you watched it.
That's a
Someone
great
said, "Watch
question.
this." What do I? Yeah.
Apparently, from what my podcasting app says, I'm on 213. Apparently,
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Mhm.
So that is that. Let's look through here real quick. Hold on. So, let's see.
Where do you get your recommendations? Do
I
Hear
ask
some
for
of those
them
lists? Okay.
sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have that. Sometimes I just look up fucking cult movies on Wikipedia and I'm just like,
Yeah.
maybe I'll cover this.
Yeah, yeah.
Or whatever. And sometimes I do ask, like, girl, what should I do? Like, what do you think?
Right.
Like, I don't know, that kind of thing. One of the ones that I will say, I think we just mentioned it, obviously. The Legend of Billie Jean was one that really surprised
Mhm.
me.
And
I love that film.
you just recently did that one though, right? That was the
Last July, and then
okay,
I did
yeah, I was
it
gonna say it was
on Movies That Made Us Gay.
yeah.
So, but I really liked that movie. I thought Helen Slater is so fantastic in that movie, which is
Yeah.
funny because people wanted to dog her for Supergirl and say, "Oh,
Right.
she's so bad." But like, actually, as Billie Jean, she's really good, and I thought she was fantastic in that. And
Yeah.
just everyone in it is really good. The theming is still really relevant nowadays,
It's more
and
relevant. I
it's
think,
Right.
way
yeah.
more relevant now,
Yeah.
and so it's just it was so cool, and I loved it, and that was one that I think I had heard of it from the podcast This Ends at Prom with BJ Colangelo and her wife Harmony Colangelo, where they talk about teen girl movies and stuff, which is a great podcast if
Yeah.
you're into that, but which I am into that. But I
I
am
am.
very much like, well, I grew up with I grew up with a older sister, so I definitely was talking
Yeah.
about like, stuff like that. Anyway,
Sure.
but this one definitely kind of, I don't know, I just didn't know anything about it, and then I finally watched it and I was like, this movie is so cool. I fucking loved it. Like
Right.
that was definitely one for me where I was like, there's
I'm
that.
a
And then also, yeah.
I'm a child of the '80s. I think Belle and I both
Yeah.
are,
I think
and
we
so
yeah.
we saw it. And my older sister passed away now, but was obsessed with
Okay.
Christian Slater, and so
Oh
pretty much
yeah.
anything that he was in, Gleaming the
First film, duh.
Cube, and
Yeah,
yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah.
and all of those movies and stuff like that. I had him pushed down on me, but I mean, to me, that goes back to my childhood. That movie.
Yeah. First film of
Sure.
his, like, it's crazy. Little boy. The other one I would guess I would say too, I covered last year, Winona Ryder movie, Welcome Home, Roxy Carmichael. I really
Yeah.
liked that one too.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
It is I think it was directed by a man, but it was written by a woman. And I think the guy's passed away now who directed it. But that's a really cool movie. It's talking about like adoptees a little bit and how they feel because she plays as somebody who's
Right.
adopted, but also like what people do to like somebody who's famous from their town. And
Right.
that's a really interesting way
Concept.
of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
concept. And again, we're because fame is such a weird thing nowadays, especially with social media and the virality and all that kind of stuff, it's this thing of like, I think it's even more kind of relevant of like what happens to people who, you know, go from their small town and they become famous, but like what does that do to the town, I
Yeah.
guess? And what does that do? I don't know. It's really
and
interesting.
and
I
and
like that movie.
they only get one hometown, and then if
Right.
they're too famous basically to be a part of that town and just go back home like that
Yeah.
anybody would try to, good
Hmm.
or bad.
Right. And I just think like, but it was the effect that someone like that had on this
Everybody.
town
Yeah.
and everybody. Right. It's so interesting. Plus also a little undercover gay stuff because like I definitely think like Dinah Manoff and that other lady were like probably banging, like, like just certain things where I was like, what is happening here? But like I loved it though. It was a great movie. And again, I hadn't really seen it before, and you just was like, what the hell is this? And then I was like, oh, this movie's actually really interesting. Like,
Yeah.
what is
Yeah.
this? Yeah, so that was a good time. But yeah, like there's a couple of them like that, like that have surprised me. Girls Just Want to Have Fun is another one going back to the 80s.
Oh,
I love that
yeah.
movie. It's a fun little comfort watch for me. It's a dance movie. It has Sarah Jessica Parker and Helen Hunt. I loved that one, and I think it's really fun to see these like, in their own right, like, not mavericks, but like these wonderful women in a way, like doing these things as young people. It's just so
Yeah.
cool
Right.
to see. I don't know.
You ever
So
seen the
those
show?
are kind of the ones.
Have you ever seen the show Square Pegs of Sarah Jessica Parker?
I know what it is. I just never
You should
watched
check it
it.
out. It's what
Yeah.
she
But
did right before that. It's like her first stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
she kind of, I think Square Pegs had something to do with her getting that movie because I think someone on Square Pegs was a part of doing that movie.
She was probably doing coke with them when she was 14 because that was pretty much
Probably.
what all the
Probably.
cast was doing. The
It's
teenagers.
that's her and Jamie Gertz from Lost Boys, right?
Mhm.
And they're playing nerds. Yeah.
Yeah. ish. I mean, they're all beautiful people, but it's
Yeah,
all the
They're
same.
they're nerds in terms of Hollywood standard.
The show is
Really.
made. The show is the brainchild of Ann Beats. She was a pivotal person
Yes.
on SNL, and she's a big deal. And
Yeah.
the show, I surprisingly fell back to it. I don't know, a couple of months ago, and I was like, "Oh, this show's way better than I was beginning to give
Mhm.
it credit for." Especially from
Yes.
1981, 82.
Yes. Was apparently also a professor, I think, as well, and apparently just hated like everybody, from what I've heard. Ann
Mhm.
Beats, but we love
Yeah,
her for that,
right.
honestly.
Well,
Hey, when
she,
you're a woman in SNL, especially back then, fucking you had to. I
yeah,
can only imagine.
yeah,
yeah, for sure.
I can only imagine, especially as a writer, like not even like Jane Curtin and like Gilda Radner or whatever,
on
right? Like,
camera, but somebody behind.
but
Yeah,
somebody behind.
yeah. If do you see the Saturday Night? Is that what it was? The Saturday Night Live movie made by Jason Reitman.
No,
I
but I
can't.
know what it is.
It's actually good, and her character is a pretty substantial
Who
part of
plays
it.
her?
I'm trying to think of her name. The girl with
What's
the
she been
eyebrow.
in?
The girl with the eyebrows. I'll look it up. But anyways,
Wow, the girl with the eyebrows.
yeah,
That's not judgy at all, Dave.
that is not judgy. Trust me.
Is it Rachel Sennett?
Yes, thank you. Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, wait a minute. Yeah. Because I was like, wait a minute. I want to know who you're talking about, but I'm going to look it up real quick.
The
Oh,
eyebrows.
no. It's not. No, it's not. It's not her. She is in there. She actually plays. No, because Rachel Sennett is in there. She plays Rosie Schuster, who I don't know who that is, but she is a writer from SNL as well. So it's not her. This is a lady by the name of Leander Solomon, I believe. And what else has she been in? Hold on, let's look.
It's a good movie though. I'm a huge Saturday Night Live fan still.
Right.
Oh, I think it gets a bad rap all the time, but they turn out live, fresh material every week, and people got to give them some credit for that.
I just think
She's
it's
been on
funny that we now
TV.
have as many fans of Saturday Night Live. 7.
This lady who played Ann Beats, she's been in a bunch of TV stuff, so that's good
Yeah,
for her. I mean,
yeah.
shit, love
Absolutely.
that for her. Yeah, all right.
Good for
And then
good for
apparently she
you.
has the eyebrows. I don't know. I'll take that as a good thing, I guess.
Hey.
Yeah.
See, when you said eyebrows, I started to
Gorgeous.
tear up because all I could think of was Catherine O'Hara being in Schitt's Creek. Shout out
Yeah.
Catherine O'Hara with the two guys with the greatest eyebrows ever.
Holy shit, the Levy
The
eyebrows. Are you
Levy
kidding
eyebrow
me?
is legendary. They need their own
Legendary.
IMDb page
Right.
for the
Yeah.
eyebrow.
I love her eyebrows. It's great.
Love Catherine
Yeah.
O'Hara.
Oh my God.
in
I
peace.
am still not over it. I found that out at work yesterday. I was very upset. So this is your reminder to all go watch Schitt's Creek now and
Schitt's
watch all the
Creek and-
Catherine O'Hara movies.
Schitt's Creek and Beetlejuice is the plan for my evening.
You should definitely do that. And also, Annie Murphy stan, Alexis Rose, best character on that show forever and ever. But I just, that's just me personally. But no, I loved Alexis on that show. I think she has the best arc on that show. But obviously, when you have legends around you,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, what are we doing? Like,
How
come
do you
on.
stand out? Yeah.
But she did. She was so fantastic. Like her last scene, I'm not spoiling anything too crazy, but like her last scene with Ted, because Ted is her on again, off again person in the show, obviously. Oh, so good. Anyway, yes. She's so great.
What do you have on tap for movies you're going to be covering in the near future?
That's a great question, Joshua Bell, and I'm glad you asked.
I appreciate the formality. Thank you.
Wow, I thought my mom was about to yell at me because she's the only person that calls me Joshua.
Whatever.
Dave calls me Bell. Most people call me Josh, but I got the full thing there.
Yes, exactly.
I love it.
Because remember, I am your mother, actually. So,
you are now.
Really,
you win.
I'm really everyone's mother. But yeah, so what I have on tap for this month, well, you'll already have seen my little schedule. I tend to put my schedule up ahead of time, I guess. So I'm doing, like I said, Opposites Attract this month. So what that means is I am doing movies where about kind of love stories in a way because it's February. But but I wanted to do something a little different. So I will be covering, I believe, my first episode, which will be out sometime in February. I'm doing every other week now.
Yeah.
I used to do weekly, but I'm doing Juno from
Okay.
2007,
That's a
Good
great
movie.
movie.
which is a great movie.
Also
Diablo
Jason
Cody.
Reitman, yeah.
Yes. And then also, so I'm doing that one because I would say Juno and Polly are opposites.
Yeah.
And also maybe Vanessa and Mark are as well. So there's that. And then in cult movie fashion, which I still have to record the episode on it, but I will. I'm doing the penultimate movie of Opposites Attract for a love story is Harold and Maude from
Oh,
1971.
fan one of my all-time favorites. I'm trying to convince
So good.
my youngest daughter, who I mentioned, Danica, who we're recording her interview
Yes,
tomorrow.
yes.
She still hasn't watched Harold and Maude, and I
It's
keep
so
trying to
good.
get her, and she's gonna love it because she's nerdy like her dad. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm so excited for her to see.
It's so good. It's such a good little story.
Yeah,
Ruth Gordon's
I'm,
amazing
Yeah.
in
and
it.
She's
Bud
great in
Cort
everything.
But
man,
Good Court's so good in it.
yeah,
Yeah, like just everybody in it, like the Cat Stevens soundtrack. That movie is so good. I love on Letterboxd somebody just put it as Manic Pixie Dream Grandma, and I'm like, yeah, pretty
kind of
much. I
fits.
love that. Um, and it's just so great. It's such a
Yeah.
great movie, and I'm so into. So listen to that whenever this is out. I
Yeah,
guess
it
whenever
is
you
one of
hear it.
those beautiful it's a
Yes.
oddly beautiful love story.
It is, it is. And then at some point, on I don't know, I'm planning to do, if anybody wants to listen to this, I'm not gonna tell you exactly what. March, I'm probably gonna do something with Women's History Month, so probably covering women directors, I believe.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I
did that
have
last year
something
on
yeah,
my main channel. I did a lot of
right.
women directed films.
Yeah, definitely that. One of the ones I wanna do is like a Holly Weird kind of thing where I'll let you figure out or let you think about what I might be covering for those. If you think what
Yep.
you may think they are, you're probably right. Um,
I
you
love it.
know, and then the other one I kind of wanna do as well is, I have on tap or to plan, I do want to do something for Sexual Assault Awareness Month, which is in April apparently. And that means
I did not
I'm
know that was April. I did not know
I
that
did
was
not.
yeah, if you look it up, apparently it's April, because
okay.
that's one of the things I found, because I was, like, trying to theme out something,
Yeah,
so of course it's important to bring awareness to
absolutely,
any of that sort
100%
of
for
stuff,
sure.
yeah, and so just to know that, like, hey, don't be an asshole and be a dick,
Mhm.
and, yeah, don't assault people, but, like, that means that in April sometime, I will probably be covering some sort of rape revenge movie. I'm still thinking of what I wanna do, and then I also have a plan to maybe talk to somebody about a movie. So
Mm,
I don't
awesome.
know. We'll leave it at that. But
Yeah,
yeah, that'll be interesting. And
I
yeah, I'm
love
trying to
it.
get that in the books. So yeah, I mean, just like try to do that kind of shit. Like, and then it's
Sure.
like summer is always kind of like I did Valley of the Dolls and the Beyond the Valley of the Dolls last
I
year.
love Russ Meyer.
Mhm.
Yeah, so he did Beyond, and then like but I did Summer of the Dolls, like
Oh,
Month of the
yeah,
Dolls. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I did like Welcome to the Dollhouse, and I also did Superstar the Karen Carpenter story for some reason. I don't know why either. It ended up turning into a Karen Carpenter episode, really.
Right.
Yeah.
But because you can only watch it on YouTube and you can talk about it, I guess, but it's also like I don't know, it's like 40 something minutes, but it's Todd Haynes, so
Yeah,
whatever.
love his
Yeah.
Um
acting.
so there's that, but like but you know what's so funny? I was gonna actually and this is how this fucking works, right?
Right?
I was actually planning on doing the movie Life Size with Tyra Banks and Lindsay
Oh,
Lohan.
the Disney Channel Barbie
Yes.
doll comes alive
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
movie?
I was planning to do that. It was a
Wow.
Wonderful World of Disney movie, and I was like, "Oh, I've never seen it, but like it would be perfect for Summer of the
Oh,
Dolls. Like,
yeah.
let's do that."
Yeah.
And of course, it doesn't stream anywhere. It didn't
No.
stream anywhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was like, "Fuck, what am I gonna do? Because I'm not about to go and try to find it and like spend a
Yeah.
bunch of money to go get it."
Buy a Blu-ray copy.
Right, I'm
Yeah.
not doing
That's
that.
the one
So
you
I was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck that." I was like, "Okay, well, whatever." So I did Superstar instead, the Karen Carpenter story. And then come to find out, a couple months later in 2025, what comes on Disney
Yeah,
Plus?
now it's there. Yeah.
And I'm
Of
like, damn
course.
it! But
This
I
No.
this
will
whole
do life size at
streaming
some point.
this whole streaming rights thing is driving me crazy.
It
Because we
yeah.
Oh, I
do you
know.
remember when we had access to pretty much everything anytime for like 10 years or
Oh
maybe
my
8
god,
Yeah.
years
right?
there?
Mhm.
Anytime you wanted something, you could find it somewhere. Maybe I pirated it, but still, it was
Yeah.
But it
out
was
there.
somewhere.
And
Yeah.
now everybody's about their rights, so everything's been pulled back.
Listen, and then there's some things like when I did that awful movie Snow Day on my show, which was really bad. Um,
Okay.
it's not a very
Yeah.
good movie. It's a
Yeah.
Nickelodeon
No,
movie.
but
Yeah. I've
I
seen
had
it.
a when it came out, I had a thing for Emmanuel Trichy, the
Of
girl
course you did. Why
yeah.
wouldn't you?
So
Like,
I
yes.
definitely watched that movie more than once.
Oh yeah, like of course because she is the like hot girl that
Yeah. Mm,
Big Pete would be into in
yeah.
Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Yeah.
So, and we love
Oh,
Emmanuel Sharkey in this house. Like of
Yeah.
course we do. But like the thing is like the movie's just not very good.
it's
But you know
not.
what's funny is I did that on the show. And then I don't know if you know this, boys. There is a musical remake of that movie that was
Of
on
Snow
Paramount
Day?
Plus. Yes. And guess what? They took it off of there at some point. So I had to also go pirate it, and I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. Because when you leave me to
No
that,
option. Yeah.
I'm
Right.
like, I'm sorry. Like, yes, please don't pirate things. It's bad for the
It
industry, I
is
guess.
bad.
And it
Right.
is. But I'm also just like, yeah, but I had really no other way of watching it because it's not physical media.
Make it
And I
available.
wanted to
Yeah.
I wanted to cover it. It's not very good necessarily. However, you know, whatever, okay. But I just was like, yeah, so there's that. But like, for example, because as children of the 80s and however the hell you were in the 90s, I was a kid in the 90s, but I worship at the altar of Are You Afraid of the Dark specifically
Well,
and love that show.
Good show.
I digitally, but I bought the entire series
As you
on
should, as you should.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
as you
now it's
should.
available, every episode available on Paramount Plus.
Of course
and
it
I
It's
is.
not
need
every
to.
episode though. It's not
Of
every
course not.
episode.
Oh, well then I'm glad I bought it, bastard.
But you can find it on
you.
you can find it on YouTube, I think. It depending, you know, you might
Sure.
need to get you a VPN, but like you can find it on YouTube pretty easily. Even the newer seasons of the 6 and 7 or whatever they
Yeah.
did when it came
Mhm.
back.
Yeah.
So there's that. But so for example, I'd watch those, right? Uh and whatever, but then also like but if I was to like watch the newer ones that they did more recently, like the Jeff Wadlow ones and shit like that, I think I would actually give money and I would go buy those because you can buy
Sure.
them on Amazon or something like that.
Mhm.
Like, but like I said, pirating's bad. Don't do it. You shouldn't
do
do
it.
it. But also like if this leaves you no other choice, I'm
Make
like
it available and
I
it
don't know
won't
what
be an
else to
option.
do
Yeah.
Yes.
because I'm just like
Agreed.
this is insane and I don't know what else to do because I want to watch this thing, but it's nowhere is it at. So
Yeah. It
anyway.
happens. I run across that all the time right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
It
it is what it is.
drives me insane.
But thankfully we can find stuff and you know, you can like find shit and whatever.
There
And
are ways to find things.
there are.
I wanna ask you because the last movie you did for the end of the year for December, Hedwig
Yes.
and the Angry Inch,
Of course.
love Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Have you watched John Cameron Mitchell's other movies?
I have
Like
watched
Short Bus,
Short
Rabbit
Bus.
Hole?
I have only watched Short Bus
Only-
and Hedwig.
Ugh. I want to find somebody who has seen How to Talk to Girls at Parties. Nobody has seen it. I saw it at
I've
an art
heard
house
of it.
theater in 2017, and no, I can't talk to anybody about it.
Don't worry, baby. It's gonna happen at some point
It's gonna
because I
happen.
do like John Cameron Mitchell's
I love
stuff.
John Cameron Mitchell. Yes.
I
Okay.
like his stuff. Yeah, Hedwig was really great.
Love
I
Hedwig.
think I really liked our conversation with me and my buddy Antonio, who I will
Mhm.
be talking to later tonight, actually. So there's that. But like yeah, I love that one. That's a really good one. I own that one. And
Yeah.
Short Bus, I also think is really good
So,
too.
yeah, when I saw Short Bus shortly after it came out,
Mhm.
knew nothing about it. I just knew it was the guy who did Hedwig and the Angry
Hedwig,
Inch.
yeah.
And let me tell you, straight white guy wasn't expecting what he saw.
It's
Like
so good
almost
though.
immediately.
Yeah.
The guy, the self-fellatio guy.
Yeah,
Almost
that guy.
immediately. To
Well, I'm in.
completion.
Now I'm in. I
So
haven't seen it.
right.
Now I'm
So
gonna
for
check
those
that
who
out.
may not know, I guess John Cameron Mitchell, who is the guy
He
from
is.
Hedwig and the Angry Inch,
Yes.
he is Hedwig in the show, and he created it with Stephen Trask and all this stuff. So he then went on to do Short Bus, and the thing that Short Bus has is that it's I guess, infamous for being a film that has all unsimulated sex in it. So all
Yes,
the sex you see on screen is
is
real.
real.
And so like but thankfully not in the Blue Bunny sort of way, or no, Brown Bunny,
Brown
sorry.
Bunny, yeah,
Brown
yeah.
Bunny. Yeah.
Where you just see Vincent Gallo getting his dick sucked by Chloe Sevigny, poor Chloe Sevigny. But like it's just like but Short Bus actually has such
Yeah.
a heart to it,
Yes.
and I think it's so
No,
fantastic in
it's
my
it
opinion.
is it is it's a wonderfully made movie
God,
a about a particular culture
yes.
and a particular moment in New York City, and absolutely
Yes, it's
fantastic, but
really good.
in 2006, it was not the movie I was expecting because all
Holy
I
shit,
knew is it's
yes.
John Cameron Mitchell, he did Hedwig, I love Hedwig,
Right.
let me watch this. That's not Hedwig.
That's a lot. And then also like and plus it's talking about queer and
Mhm.
heterosexual relationships.
Yes.
One of the fun little thing, the sex therapist in Short Bus is played by one of the people in Hedwig. It's the Asian lady. It's one of the Asian women that is like one of her
Mhm.
background people.
Yeah.
Like when Hedwig's first starting out, and she has these like Asian wives or like these Asian people, like these Asian women who are like backing her as her band. And one of those is the sex therapist from Short Bus. But yeah, it's just like a really good movie. I really liked it. I have not watched Rabbit Hole. Is that based off of a play?
I think it was,
Maybe something like
yes,
that. I don't remember.
it was based on the David Lindsay Abaire play from
Okay.
2006, and then John Cameron
I've
Mitchell
heard
did the
I've
movie
heard of that
version.
one,
Yeah.
and then I have not and I've heard of How to Talk to Girls at
Yeah.
Parties, but I haven't seen it,
I
but I
will
will
say
probably end up watching those 2.
How to Talk to Girls at Parties is probably his most accessible film.
Uh-huh.
It's it it is much I guess it is much more straight friendly than the rest of
Yes,
his
sure.
movies.
And
But
good
it's
for them.
A24.
Okay.
It's very much like it's a rave movie with
Yeah,
aliens.
I love it. Say less.
I was so in.
Yeah, say
Yeah, I
less.
loved it.
I'm kinda interested, yeah, and
Yeah,
plus I like John Cameron. I like
yeah.
him, and I like the, yeah, his
Yeah.
filmography,
I
I
think
mean,
it was the first time I remember seeing Elle Fanning kind of as a grown-up and not
she
a
fucking
child
rocks.
actress anymore. Yeah, she's great.
It's like that when did this come out? When did that movie come out?
2017.
So for me, not that I watched it at the time, but when I didn't really know Elle Fanning as like a child actor even. I knew she was
Yeah.
Dakota's sister,
Right?
but you know, there's that. But my first thing I saw her in where I was like, "Oh, she's actually really good," is The Neon Demon. For a lot of people, that's what they
Oh,
know her
yeah,
from.
Neon Demon was
But
great
she's
too.
so
I
very
enjoyed
good in
that.
that movie. She's very good in that movie. And then which is the same guy who did Drive and
Yeah,
stuff, Nicholas
Nicholas
Winding
Winding
Refn.
Refn.
So there's
Welcome
that.
to the hot seat.
Sorry.
Oh my
Sorry, I
gosh.
jumped the gun. I jumped the gun.
No, it's fine.
I usually do a warning before I was just getting it ready, and I
I was so
accidentally hit
scared.
go. Ah, no,
No,
because
you're good.
the next part of the show is this,
That's the
but
next interview.
that's the
I
no,
was so
Early.
scared.
no.
No,
So,
but yeah, it was a good
we
time.
don't do sound effects, but I do have 2 sound effects just because it makes Dave shake his head at me every time.
I cringe.
Yes. So,
Welcome to the hot seat.
It's not our show.
it's
Welcome
not
to the hot
bad.
seat, I guess.
So then it's right. So it's but yeah, it's her in
Yeah.
that movie. I guess this movie you're talking about, How to Talk to Girls at Parties, and then now it's like people are in their sentimental value and all that kind of
Right,
stuff.
yeah.
So I love it for
We'll see
her.
what happens. We'll see what happens at the Oscars with that one.
I don't know if she'll win, but I'm
No.
glad that she's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, to
Yep.
be nominated.
Yep. It's just nice to be nominated. All right. So for real on the hot seat, your first question, most overrated cult movie.
Dear God. Oh my oh. Ooh, there's a good thing. That is a really good question. I'm trying to think. Oh gosh. I think like maybe mm, really don't know exactly. Oh God, I can't
It's
think
all
of
right.
one now.
It's all right. If you
Like,
think of one, we'll come back to it.
yeah, think of one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's your most underrated cult movie?
Ooh, I think one. Now I gotta look at my stuff to see what I covered. 'Cause I gotta
Get out the
really try
cheat
to
sheet,
think of
get the
this. I
note.
really do, I really do. You know, a little underrated one. I think a little underrated one we could talk about. You know what? I'm gonna say it because I know we talked about Russ Meyer and whatever. You know what? More people need to talk about Faster Pussycat Kill Kill.
I love Faster Pussycat. I prefer Mudhoney, but Faster
Right.
Pussycat is amazing.
Yeah, listen, because I still think it's a little underrated. I think more people didn't know about it. It's these 3 women who are kicking ass, taking names,
Tura
driving
Santana,
cars. Have you watched her documentary yet?
I haven't. Is it great?
You should go to your woke library in Colorado, wherever you are, and you need to go get your library card and get on Canopy, and you need to go and probably check it out. I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my watch list. So underrated, I will say, is Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. That movie fucking rocks.
So, who's an actor that you'll watch in anything? You don't even have to know.
Ooh, I have to think about that for a moment. Ooh, yeah, I'm really trying to. You know, I must say, one of the people who I really want to see stuff in, or I'm always kind of sat for, I've gotta say, I don't mind a David Krumholtz, I guess.
Ah,
Like, I don't mind a him, or you know what? I'll even say Amina Savari. I might
Mina
say him and
Suvari.
her. Like,
Alright.
I'm kinda like, I'm interested to see what the hell they do. You
Yeah,
know? Did I watch Oppenheimer just for him in it?
right.
Kind of, sort of. But,
Yeah,
like, you know, okay. But, like, yeah, that goes back to a very gay crush I have on him,
okay.
because of
That
reasons.
you like elves?
Maybe or maybe not. I don't
Not
know.
none of
Like,
my business.
what the hell?
None of
Like,
my business.
what kind of tone is that, Josh? Like, what are you talking about? I may or may not have had a crush on Bernard the Elf. That's
Right.
absolutely true.
Hey,
And I
nothing
think
wrong with it.
I think David's also very aware of his like his gay like fans that
His
like
place
him.
in the community.
And I hope so because I think if anything, would find it flattering.
Yeah,
So there's
absolutely.
that.
Yeah,
And then Mina Savari is just like beautiful and amazing and
yeah,
like, am I gonna watch that weird vampire movie she has coming out? Maybe.
yeah,
Like,
right.
I don't know, but, like, did I watch that really bad movie with her and Ryan Phillippe in it? I did, and it was really bad, and Emile Hirsch, like, I did. But I'm always kinda into stuff that she does, like, I've watched American Pie, I've watched Nowhere, I've watched,
American
what a
Beauty.
American Beauty, I've watched, Sugar and Spice, like, I'm always kinda happy to see Mina and stuff, honestly.
So that actually
Answer for
answers
me,
question
yeah.
before because it's the actress who deserves way more cult movie love.
I think it would be there's a
Or
few of
the
them.
few, yeah.
I think Mina Savari definitely has some cred as well. Um, gosh, there's that. You know what? I'll give it to Elise Shawit even a little bit. I give
Mhm.
it to her
Yeah,
because when you're in fucking Twin Peaks and you're in like Dune and stuff, like
yeah.
that's kind of cool. Plus, also she was in like a John Waters movie. You know.
Okay.
Oh, to add to your other
Oh,
one,
yeah,
so with David Krumholtz and Mina Savari,
yeah.
I've got to bring up Matthew Lillard because I really will watch anything with
Oh,
that man in it.
so I ca I post all the time, and I Matthew Lillard's birthday was just the other day, so I
It
posted a
was.
happy birthday and said, "Matthew, if this ever comes across your page, give me a call. We'll put you on the show."
Yeah.
I
Don't think I
I have
won't.
no shame. I will call anybody.
Don't think I won't
Absolutely.
because I love him and everything. I even
Yeah.
watched, like, The Life of Chuck recently,
I
and
loved him in Life of Chuck. He
I
made me
wasn't
cry.
blown away by the show by the movie,
He made me
um,
cry.
but I loved him in that, and that movie was really it was cool, like, I didn't dislike it, but I was like I loved seeing him in there, and really, I will watch him. Like, am I gonna watch those Five Nights at Freddy's movies?
Yes,
Probably.
couple times
I
probably.
haven't watched them yet, but, like, will I watch them? Probably at some
I
point.
watched the first
Am
one
I
already.
watching am I watching that Carrie miniseries? Well, yes, I
Yeah.
am because I love Carrie.
Well,
But also,
yeah.
is he in it? Okay, we're pulling up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and SLC Punk is an all-time favorite.
I'm gonna do it on the
Yeah,
show at some point. I don't know when,
yeah.
but yeah, I love that movie.
Alright, what movie do you rewatch the most?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know, I gotta tell you, I'm not always the biggest rewatcher of things all the time, so it kinda depends for me. I will say one of the ones that I really like, which I recently did over the holidays, I will say I think I can always rewatch Go every single Christmas
Go is a good
of
one.
1999. It's that and, like, Female Trouble, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Those are staple Christmas movies for me. Like, they're just I mean, more like Go is kind of more of a little bit of a Christmas movie
Yeah.
than Female Trouble is. However,
But
I love
what
both of those.
Divine is like watching a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I loved it. So,
Decorated, yeah.
yeah, I can watch anything with Divine at any time.
And as you should.
What was the terrible Western that she made? The
Lust in the Dust
Lust
with
in the Dust. I'll even watch Lust in the Dust.
with Lainey Kazan, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes. No,
Alright.
that is definitely a rewatch for me.
Yeah. What's a guilty pleasure movie that you know you can't defend it because it is bad, but you still love it?
Ooh, I don't have any guilts of any of my pleasures,
Right.
truly.
But it's just a
Um,
movie you know that, like, you can't defend that it's a good movie, but you still love it. Like, for me, it's Over the
yeah.
Top or
Oh, I don't
Robin
even
Hood,
know what that
Prince of
is.
Thieves. Like,
Okay.
bad movies, but I still like watching them.
Yeah, no, totally. You know, I will say this, I did it on my show before, but it's something where I understand why people don't like it, but I still can't get over it and I like it. Uh, I do enjoy Not Another Teen Movie. I
Oh,
know it's not very good.
yeah.
I
I
love
get
that
it.
I
movie.
love DJ Qual.
Yeah.
I send Dave a little meme that I made all
Is
the
he in that
regularly.
movie?
Isn't DJ Qualls in that one?
You might be thinking of Road Trip.
No, I
Yeah.
definitely know Road
He's
Trip.
definitely in Road Trip.
Yeah.
No, well,
I
I
don't know
feel
if
like
he's
he
in
no,
is.
he might not be in that. He probably isn't. But what I do say, I send Dave this thing.
He
It's a
should be,
picture
though.
of Randy Quaid with his
He should be in
on.
all
It
of them.
says, "Good night, good
Yeah.
night,
Him and
sweet dreams,
DJ
pumpkin
Qualls and
tits."
Hustle and Flow was so amazing.
Right, right. I haven't seen that, but
Oh,
I just like that he's like the
really
lone
good.
white guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, like I kind of enjoy that. I think that works for him. Yeah, Not Another Teen Movie. It's hard to defend because I'm kind of like
It's
I get why people don't like this. It's mean
But
spirited, all that.
it knows it's not good. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It knows
I
it's
think it
silly. It knows
does.
it's winking at you the whole time, which
It's from the
you
same
know,
people who did like the parodies on like the
Yeah.
MTV like
Yes.
movie awards. Like literally they just kind of turned that into like a movie, I guess.
I grew
Um
up with all those teen movies from the 80s, so you know, to
yeah.
me,
So
every one of those tropes is funny.
it can be hard to defend it a little bit, but also I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, but there is some stuff where I'm like, for people could say it's bad, but like it's kind of a better parody movie than some of the ones that came out.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
'cause
there
it
were
was
quite
the
a few really
first.
bad ones.
It was
in
the
my
first
opinion.
Not Another movie, and
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
better than all that.
I think that maybe you could make a case for Vampires Suck, perhaps. That maybe that's not as bad. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
I think it's pretty bad, but I still watched
yeah.
it and I still enjoyed it. So
I think I have a to answer your first question. You want to go back to your first question real quick?
overrated cult movie.
Uh-huh. I think one of the ones that I will say, I do like this movie enough, and I own it actually. And I'm not a girl, so let's keep that in mind too. I don't really know what the big deal is about the virgin suicides personally. I
Fair.
think it's a little overrated. I think it's good. It's a vibe. Sofia
Yeah.
Coppola has a
Yeah.
vibe.
She does.
I don't dislike her. However, I'm like, I just don't
I get
quite
it.
get the hype a little bit.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and plus I also read the book as
Uh,
well.
and
And it
that
was
can
just one of
definitely
these
taint a movie.
things. Well, I thought the movie was a little bit honestly better than the book a
Did you?
little bit.
Oh,
I feel like it kind of is a little bit, but the book is really I don't know, the book's interesting. It was written by a dude and like, I don't know. That was an interesting one. I really go listen to my episode, baby, and like I
yeah.
don't know, maybe you'll hear what I say about it. But like the book was like, but I liked the movie a little bit more because I do like some of her vibes that she has. But it's one of these things where I'm just like, I just don't quite understand what the giant hype is about it. But
Sure.
again, I'm also not a woman, so
Yeah.
maybe for some people it's something. But that would be my overrated one because I'm just kind of like, okay, I like Kirsten Dunst just like anybody else does.
Yeah.
But like,
I
what?
could see that.
Sure.
I don't know.
Absolutely. All right. What's a movie that you respect but you don't actually like?
Ooh. Mm, I will say, ooh. I've got to tell you, you know what? There was one, and I mean, you can look at my letterbox if you want to. I respect what Jane Schoenbrunn did for their first film. We're all going to the World's Fair.
Mm.
I did not like that movie a whole lot personally. But I respect it though. I love that we have somebody who's a trans artist who is making a movie, and
Mhm.
that's all fine and well, but I just didn't like it a whole lot,
Yeah,
in my
Right.
I get
opinion.
it. Yeah.
So, but I did like I saw the TV Glow. I liked that more.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. I
but
still
I
haven't
will
watched
say,
I saw the TV Glow.
I think you might like it if you're somebody who is a fan of like 90s TV a little bit, if you grew up with that sort of stuff. That's what I'll say about it, but it
Alright.
is really interesting,
Yeah.
and, Jack Haven's really good in it, and Justice Smith and all that, but, yeah, it was a perfectly good movie, but her first film she did, I respect it, but I was just like, I
Yeah.
don't think I liked it a whole lot, and I really don't feel like watching it again.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Alright, who's an actress who could have ruled cult cinema if she was just born 20 years earlier?
Ugh,
I need to make these
gosh,
questions for you one day, Dave.
I know,
Just to put
right?
you on the hot seat. I
Oh
see your mind
gosh.
thinking.
What era are we talking? Like, are we talking about now or
Yeah,
talking
an
about
actress
previous?
today that had they been around in the 70s and 80s would have really ruled the cult cinema world.
Ooh, okay, that's actually a really good one. I'm trying to think of people now that could maybe do it. You know what? I will say this, we did mention her before. Not that I've watched I Love LA or anything like that, but I wanna see what Rachel Sennett would have done in these days. That would have been really
Yeah,
interesting because I feel
good.
like, yeah, that's a good one because she is, I think, a very interesting comedic actress,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and whatever, and she has some good things, like, Shiva Baby is actually really good.
yeah.
So, like, and Bottoms is good, like, all these things.
I like
I'm just
Bottoms.
interested, yeah, I'm just interested to see what she would have done 20 years before.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Like, I'm definitely, so yes, Rachel Sennett, I
Rachel
think, would have
Sennett.
been really
Alright.
interesting. Plus, also, she's just, like, kind of a little odd and weird and off the
She
cuff and,
does, yeah.
whatever, and I don't know, I think that's my answer, yeah, Rachel Sennett.
I think
All right,
Natasha Lyonne.
She's my stupid computer.
I think Natasha Lyonne would have run the 70s
Natasha
cult.
Lyonne would have been great
She
too,
100% would.
because,
She's
like,
a cult queen in her own
well,
right, but
and
yeah.
she's got But I'm a Cheerleader, and if that's not a cult
Yeah.
film, a
Yep.
cult classic,
She's got
and
that and
Slums of Beverly Hills,
Yeah.
yeah.
Both
she's
amazing.
got some
Where you
great ones.
see, I don't think they're her titties. They're not Natasha's titties.
No.
I don't know if they're Marissa Tomei's titties, but you do see titties in that, so
Yeah.
that's fun.
That is there's a joke that I like. It says, "If you've seen one pair of breasts, you wanna see them all."
Yeah.
Yeah. Check out Slums of Beverly Hills, everybody. It's great.
Slums of
Yeah, it's a
Beverly
good
Hills is
movie.
a fantastic movie. Alan
Arkin.
Arkin is
Alan Arkin.
freaking
Yeah.
amazing.
My crush, David Krumholtz, is in it.
David Krumholtz, yep. All right, last question before we start talking about the big movie today.
Yes.
What is one movie that you would force everyone to watch at least once?
Force everyone to watch at
Like,
least once?
if you wanna hang out with Jesse, what movie do you have to watch?
100%. If you ever want to hang out with me, and you need to watch a movie, it's a toss up between. Okay, it's gonna be either a toss up between Jawbreaker from 1999 or Rocky Horror Picture Show from 1975,
All right, Rocky Horror, I
because
love
that's what you need to. This is the kind of vibes I'm gonna bring,
Yeah.
and this is what I'm interested in.
All
So you need to watch
Well-
either one of those probably. But I will also, to just have it be one. I think everyone needs to watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show because we need to stop being so puritanical.
Yes. So, if you love Rocky Horror Picture Show, have you seen Phantom of the Paradise?
No, but I want to really
You-
bad. It's just
We
hard
keep
to
I
stop and
have
stream it.
a picture of
Garrett Graham.
Beef, Garrett Graham from
Yes.
from Phantom of the Paradise. Dave's mug that you see him drinking out of is Beef.
Yes.
We are big Garrett Graham fans. We love
Yeah.
Garrett Graham.
And the movie.
Yeah.
I really
And
love
it's a
Brian-
great
love the movie.
freaking movie. A
Brian De
fantastic-
Palma.
Brian De
We have Jessica Harper, who would then go on to be in Shock Treatment, funny enough, which is also Rocky Horror kind of,
Yeah.
but then also be in Suspiria, I think, after that. Set
And the-
Dresser, Sissy Spacek.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the great Paul
Funny enough.
Williams.
Like
Yeah.
random. Who was it?
The great Paul Williams doing all the music and
Yeah.
playing Swan and
I want to really I have not pulled up on it yet. I pulled
Yeah.
up on the first 15 minutes, I think, and then I was like,
Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
I'm not here yet.
But I do want to because I know it is in the it's not in the Rocky Horror,
It's but
but
it's
it's
rock.
not
It's a rock opera.
it is,
It
but
is.
it's not
It's
like
not
in
that.
the universe. Like
No.
Shock Treatment and that are in the universe kind of sort of.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um
Beef, who Garrett Graham is playing in that picture right there. He
yeah.
would fit in Rocky Horror
Yeah.
very,
He
very well.
absolutely would, but yeah.
Him
But
and
I
Meatloaf would hang
definitely
out.
yeah, totally. But yeah, it's but for me, I definitely want to watch Phantom of the Paradise. I just haven't done it yet. And then also, yeah, Rocky Horror is just something I've loved since I was a teenager. I hated that Fox remake. That was so terrible and bad. Um, and just like I just need more people to watch this and be like, no, this is fucking great. And not in like a Perks of Being a Wallflower type way or whatever the
Sure.
hell. Like, not into that. No, like this movie is just really great. The music's really great.
It's a lot.
Everything in it's really great. Like, I just can't get over it. And
Lightning in a bottle.
also,
Yeah.
it really is. And it's just something where I'm like, that is kind of the ultimate cult movie, I guess, in a
Yeah.
way. But like, it is something where I'm like,
It
no, this
created
movie
the whole
rocks.
midnight watch party culture.
It popularized it more so for
Yeah.
sure, yeah. Because I would argue that the guy I would argue that maybe John Waters and also the guy
yeah.
who did El Topo, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
this definitely
yeah.
Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
But
Joe
yeah.
Belowski.
Well, I think those were the first midnight
Alejandro
showings was
Jodorowsky.
El Topo. Yeah.
Yeah, like doing that kind of shit. But even what is it, Night of the Living Dead,
Yeah.
things like that, where you could
Yeah.
kind of do different shit like that. So yeah.
All right. Now it is time.
Guest request.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna retire those probably after.
Nah.
I kind
right.
of like them
Fun.
just for the camp factor of it.
That's the whole reason I do it, because it's it's so cringy.
It's winking.
Anyways, so Jesse, when we
Yes.
were planning this, I asked you for a movie. Tell us what you assigned to Dave and I to watch.
Yes. So you asked me that, and I was like, okay, well, what do I want them to watch? Because you didn't give me one to choose from or whatever.
No,
which is
it's just
fine.
anything.
So it's very open ended. So I thought, why not? Because I don't know whenever the hell I'm going to talk about this movie. Granted, I guess I could talk about it on my show, but maybe I will. But I thought it would be fun to watch a film that is has an Oscar nominated and Oscar winning performance in it, and is kind of a really good example of classic cinema. It's really fucking good. It's also based off a book, if you like that, and whatever. I brought forth for you today. I believe it's 1945's Mildred Pierce,
Yeah.
starring Joan Crawford.
Yeah. So when you said that, I was so excited because it has been
Yeah.
on my watch list forever.
Same. And
Hell yeah.
the thing is, we've done a handful of interviews, of course, and we always say pick a movie out. And listen, the 1920s to the 1950s is my wheelhouse. That's the
Hell
stuff.
yeah.
That is my favorite. That's the stuff I watch all the time. And
Yeah.
so nobody picks anything typically
Real,
pre 1970.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
amazing to pick something not only that I had want to watch and had always wanted to
Yeah.
watch, but
Yeah.
Mildred Pierce by Michael Curtiz.
Yeah,
It's so good.
and I mentioned it before we started recording. I had actually bought the movie because it's not streaming anywhere. So I was like, I'm just gonna buy the DVD because I had a feeling I was gonna love it because I love Joan Crawford. I love the era. I love film noir. So I just
Michael Curtiz is the director there,
And-
and I have seen 30 of his movies
Yeah.
probably,
Mhm.
and
So-
I have never seen any. None of them are not good. None of them are bad.
Bad.
Some of
Most-
them are okay.
One most notably, I think he did this one. Didn't he do White Christmas?
Yes, I think so.
I think he did.
he's. I think there's two directors on that, but yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a part of that too.
yeah,
So yeah.
because somebody did all of the directed all the.
Right. But then the movie part, yeah.
So I was super excited. I had this movie. I was gonna watch it this summer because I'm a teacher, so I have summers off. I had these big
Mhm.
plans. I never watched it. And then you see it,
Right.
I'm like, "All right, now I don't have a choice. I have to watch it because I gotta be able to
Yes.
come in here and be knowledgeable at least a little bit to
Yeah.
talk
Yes. Yes.
about this." So,
Yeah.
I watched it twice. I watched it again last night just to get it refreshed in my head.
Same.
So I'm excited. Normally, I write down a quick note for a
Well,
synopsis.
let me throw this out there
Oh,
again,
please.
because my my interest and my taste level and stuff goes to those very old movies that most people don't care about.
Mhm.
So I know that Joan Crawford from like the silent era, Our Blushing
Yes.
Brides, Our Dancing Daughters, like though the beginning of her career, and then you think of like all the way up to whatever happened to Baby Jane, and
So
like
good.
this thing, and then this is smack dab in the middle. This is when she was just at her most amazing. The one flaw, and I'm going to point it out now just because is I think it gets a little bit of what I call the Will Smith treatment, which is that she required her character to be magnanimous and insanely the best person, altruistic, all of these things. She rewrote lines, changed wardrobe and stuff, so her character has no flaws. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
deep down there are some because she lets people walk all over and she spoils her daughter and all those things, but
Right.
that to me was a little like it's a little but they did that for all the big stars at the time,
Mhm.
so I don't blame
And
her for that, but
and
still.
and Michael Curtiz famously hated working with her because of that.
Yeah.
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 She kept changing her wardrobe.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing too with that is that this is also a really interesting thing for Joan Crawford because, like you said, Dave, she worked in the silent era. She was a big person at, I believe it was MGM, and so she did have quite a bit of like control and reign over what she could do at MGM. And so then when she kind of decided to cut ties with them and she moved into Warner Brothers, and this is one of her first movies with Warner Brothers. Plus, also her career kind of stalled at that time as well. So much so
Post-war.
that post-war, but also like her career, she had been put as box office poison along with like Katharine Hepburn.
Yeah, it happens to everybody at some point.
Yeah. And then also she was in a movie, I don't remember what it's called, but it was one of these movies where she's almost playing herself and she's playing like she's kind of making fun of herself. Like somebody's like, I don't remember what it's called, but like some guy's dancing with her and like he says he's like, does anybody ever tell you that you look just like Joan Crawford? And she's just like, yeah, my husband does. Like so
Love
it got to that point where like with her at
Yeah.
MGM, like whatever. And so when she cut ties with them and moved to Warner Brothers, this is the thing she did. And it was interesting too, because like she also was a single mom at the time. She was
Technically, she has
kind of sort of.
she has a lot of help.
She has a lot of help because she's Joan Crawford.
Yeah.
She has a lot of help because she's Joan Crawford. However, she
no
was a single
hangers.
mom.
No
Right,
wire
she
hangers.
was
No hangers in the house though. No
yeah,
wire
but she was a
wire
single
hangers.
mom who had a
Yep.
kid.
Yeah.
People, because she was getting older, she was 40 when she did this. Like she
Yeah.
was like,
they cast starlets out, especially then.
but
And when they
this,
started to make too much money or get too much power,
right,
Mayor and all those people, they just they
or
brush people
to
aside.
or to punish them. That also
Yeah.
happened too.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's definitely something. Yeah, Louis Mayer can go rot in hell, honestly. But yeah, it's this thing of but yeah, it's just something where it's just really interesting this point in her career. And then you have this, which is really kind of the career defining performance for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything beforehand is really cool, and I love the
She's
women just
great.
as much as anybody does,
Yeah.
but just as any other gay guy does. But there is something to Mildred Pierce where I'm like, no, this is like
It's a good story.
it's a good
I think.
story.
It
It's
is.
still it still holds up pretty decently, but also like I think it's one of these things where it's like I love those kinds of movies where you can watch it and be like, wow, that person's gonna be a fucking star.
Right.
Or this person is a star. It's either they're going to be one or they are one. This is that for Joan, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas you have this for
It
like
shows you why she was already.
it shows you
yeah.
why. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's literally like it for me. It's like this when Sissy Spacek's in Carrie. It's like that woman's going to be a star, right? That's her movie. When
She's
you
not
watch,
she's not a set dresser anymore.
no. She
Dating
and plus
Brian De Palma or not. She's
plus
not
Right, plus also before she had done some stuff here and there, but, like, that was her movie.
Right.
It's that kinda thing. It's the Mystic Pizza with, like, Julia Roberts, you know what I mean? Or, like,
Yeah.
h rest in peace, Michelle Trachtenberg, like, you watch
Yeah.
Harriet the Spy, you're like, "That girl is going to be a star."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I did that with
no
Shia
matter what.
LaBeouf too, back in
Shia
Oh,
LaBeouf,
100%.
Stevens'
we
day.
Yes.
even Steven,
Oh,
I was like,
100%.
that
You're
kid,
like,
Kid,
"That
he's way
kid?
yeah, he's way too
That
talented.
kid's gonna do something." So when he's in
Yeah.
Holes, you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
he's
yeah,
gonna do
he's gonna be
something."
big.
Yeah, you just know, like, and for me, Mildred Pierce is Joan Crawford,
Yeah.
period. Like, it's just so good.
Right. So, couple of things
Go
that I
ahead, Beth.
read about Mildred Pierce. So we mentioned that how she was difficult for Michael Curtiz, that she was
Yes.
constantly changing the character. But the guy that wrote the book, James Cain, he
Mhm.
actually sent her a signed first edition of the novel, and
Yes.
the note said, "To Joan Crawford, who brought Mildred Pierce to life just as I had always hoped she would be, and who has
Yeah.
my lifelong gratitude." So
That's
everything
awesome.
she was doing against Michael Curtiz was actually in support of the character as was
Yep.
written by James Cain. So
Yeah.
good on her for being true to the story, maybe, or
Yeah.
her selfishness
Pleasing the
led to that.
author, the creator, yeah, the
The
person who
creator
actually came
said
up
it.
with everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Right.
could get that. I didn't know
Well,
that.
the other interesting thing about that too is that, like, this movie is definitely different than the book. I haven't read the book, but I've watched both this movie
The
and
miniseries.
the miniseries that is done by Todd Haynes, which we were talking about
Yeah.
earlier. Yeah, so he's the guy who did Superstar, the Karen Carpenter story.
Mhm.
He also did Far From Heaven,
Yeah.
all these sorts of things. But he did the miniseries for Mildred Pierce. It won a bunch of like Emmys and SAG Awards and stuff like that. Kate Winslet is Mildred. And so yeah, but it is this but what you were saying about with Michael Curtiz, like this book and this movie in particular, it is fairly different because Michael Curtiz was a film noir dude. And so all of the police stuff, all of the murder stuff does not exist in the book or the miniseries.
Oh,
So it's really
that's
interesting
interesting.
how, yeah. So it's interesting how, like, yes, maybe it was difficult because you have this really famous actress who, you know, is coming in thinking she runs the place, which honestly, I mean, if I'm Joan Crawford, I do
I
kind
do
of
run
run
the
it,
place, yeah.
honestly.
Right.
Honestly, but I understand that for a director that could be kind of hard. I
Mhm.
kind of get that. But at the same time, it's like, well, you know, also I'm just trying to do service to the story, like you were saying. So it's also like, I get it, but at the same time, you're the guy who did. I don't remember if he did Double Indemnity. Did he do that?
Double Indemnity's
Billy
Billy Wilder.
Wilder.
Billy Wilder.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. Right.
But
But yeah,
he might not have wanted her to cast in the first place. We don't know what those
Yeah, I
closed
don't
that's
know
door
what.
meetings
true.
were.
Yeah,
He could have been against in the studio's like, nope, you're using her.
this is
We
it.
got a new
That's
She's the
true.
contract with
contract
her.
star.
Or
Yeah,
or I think if anything, she really may have fought for it, which I
maybe.
totally
Right.
understand.
I know
But
she
yeah, I totally
fought.
get you.
I do know that Joan Crawford fought for Anne Blythe to get the role of Vita,
Love
because
Vita.
Anne Blythe was under
Yeah.
contract to Universal, I think. And like Joan Crawford
Yes.
went to her, coached her up on how to audition so that she had to have the role. And I thought that,
Can I just
like,
can
way
I
to
just say
stick it.
the infamous slapping scene, which is
Yeah.
fantastic
Oh,
on the stairs.
yes.
I have never seen somebody respond because if you notice, Joan Crawford like rises up in a smooth motion like Dracula coming out of the grave. It
Love
was
it.
insane
Yeah.
how appropriate that was in. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
amazing. That to me, I don't know.
Yeah. So
And the
good.
fact that
Yeah.
it was a real slap.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah,
Really
real
hard.
slap.
Yeah.
Like she said,
Yeah.
I love
"No,
that.
you're really gonna slap me on the staircase."
I also just love how afterwards she just said, she's like, "Get your stuff, Vita. Get out of here before
Yeah.
whatever." Or she also says, "Get out of here before I kill you." And
Yeah.
I'm just like,
She's seething and so
Right.
much that way that she just comes up almost like out of the ground on a lift or something. But
I
yeah,
love it.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't. I also there's very few characters I can find irredeemable, and the Anne Blythe character, man,
Yeah.
god dang,
Veda
I
is
just
she is
yeah
and like it's an 81-year-old movie. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. Vita does not ever get redeemed. She is the same vapid character at the beginning as she
Spoiled,
is
all
at
the
the end,
things. Yeah.
spoiled, rotten girl all the way through, no matter what Mildred does for her and gives up for her and
But is
sacrifices
that
for her.
nature or nurture? Is it Joan Crawford's fault for trying to spoil her and do all
Right.
those things and
Yeah.
feeding into that and
I
enabling that?
actually I'm actually a little
I think so.
sympathetic for the husband because he was like, "Stop doing it. Just live
Yeah.
within the means that I can provide. I know it's not everything, but here I am."
Right, like, the men suck in this movie, like,
Right.
let's be
Yeah.
clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, I will say that too, where it's like, there is this interesting thing, and maybe it's more in the book, but, like, I have heard it be kinda said of, like, I don't know, like, maybe, like, Mildred may or may not be in love with her daughter, maybe a little
Really?
bit, like, I don't know,
That's an angle.
but it makes sense
Yeah.
because 'cause I'm like, yeah, I mean, I
Or
get loving your kid, and I
yeah.
get that. I feel like some of the difference because I also, like, this is why Mildred's not completely innocent either. Because 'cause I'm also like, "You did kinda spoil her rotten."
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
maybe she's living vicariously through her, all the things
Sure,
she
like
didn't get to, she's trying to somewhere in there. I
yeah.
think that's a solid point.
It's somewhere there where I'm like, she might have just been a shitty girl, honestly, like, whatever, and that's fair, but I'm also just like, "Yeah, but, like,
You made her that way in
a
some
little
ways.
bit. I
Yeah.
don't know, like, but it's because you may have this deep-seated love for her that goes beyond parent. I don't
Right.
know.
I like that the only person who can see through all the bullshit and the whole thing is Eve Arden, because I love Eve
Oh
Arden.
my god. She's
And
my favorite
she
character in this.
every line, like, she has all these points where she has a line that predicts what's gonna happen next, like the canary and all that stuff where she says you have feathers in your mouth. Like, all those fantastic lines that she's given, which is
So
almost
good.
like she's prophetic. She knows what's gonna happen in each situation.
She's so good. Or she's like, coming across Vita makes me think the alligators have the right idea. They eat their young.
Yeah.
Love it. Like, oh, just everything about it. And you know what's funny? I was watching this film like last year or the year before, whenever I first watched it. And I'm watching this film and I'm like, I know Joan Crawford's in it, and I had watched it on HBO before I got the criterion of it. So I was watching on HBO, okay, whatever, whatever. I get to the scene with Eve Arden in it, and I get it with Ida. And I'm looking at her and I'm like listening to her. I'm like, where have I seen her before? Where do I know that woman from? Because I know who that is. Like, I've heard her before. I've seen her. Like, her voice is distinctive. Like, I just was like, who is this? And so I had to look real quick. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like, this is the principal from Grease and Grease 2.
Yeah,
And
that's also true.
I think I just watched Grease 2 not too long before or something like that for the first
Right.
time. Love Grease 2. But anyway, I just was like, and I was thinking to myself, like, well, goddamn. And then it's just so funny because she really does, like, I mean, she just sounds the same kind of as she even does, like,
She's always the sassy friend.
yes,
She's
like,
always the one,
perfect.
the wisest one in the room with the snappy little comebacks.
Oh
She
my
in
God, so
30,
good.
40 movies she did in the early days. So
Yeah,
it's
Oscar
fantastic.
nommed for this, which is
Yep.
insane,
Her
Mhm.
which is
only
kind of
Oscar
cool.
nomination, which is a
Mhm.
wild to think
Which is a
about.
bummer. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. It was funny.
Why she
Who
didn't get
said it?
nominated for
Somebody.
Strongest Man in the World on
I know, right? No, somebody said, oh, I know who it was. I think it was James A. Jadis from Dead Meat. I think he did a recent watch of a bunch of old movies, I guess. Mildred Pierce was one of them. He gave it 5 stars, of course. But he said something in his Letterboxd review, and I loved it, where like Mildred should have just shot all these people, like her shitty ass ex-husband, her shitty new husband, her shitty daughter.
Yeah.
Everyone except Ida. Ida was dope, and also would have been played by someone like Allison Janney. And I'm like, you know what? That's so true. I mean, Mayor Winningham is not Allison Janney necessarily, who's in the miniseries.
No.
However, I would allow it because
She's
she'd be
still pretty
perfect
great.
as
I need to
Ida.
watch the miniseries because I've heard
It's a
amazing
fun
things,
one.
and I
Pull up.
love Kate Winslet.
She
So,
does really good. She won
yeah.
she did win an Oscar for it. She won an Emmy for it.
And
I
yeah.
think she won a bunch of stuff for it, which is great. I have Rachel Wood's really good in it as Vita. She is fantastic in
She's
it.
great in 13.
Oh, she's great in 13, and this is just like tiled up
Yeah.
a little
Ugh.
bit. You may or may not see her full frontal naked. I don't know.
I'll have to watch it
Maybe
now.
not.
Now I'm gonna watch it.
If you
What
don't
about-
know,
what
I'll
about-
go watch it and let you know.
What about Butterfly McQueen, who is one
Yeah,
of the
I love her.
saddest stories in Hollywood?
I love her a lot. I also love that apparently she lived in the house from the people under the stairs. Like one of the houses that's in there, like she apparently lived there, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I love Butterfly McQueen. I have not seen Gone with the Wind, nor do I really
Okay.
want to.
Yeah.
But I love that her big line is that Miss Scarlet, I don't know nothing about birth and no babies,
Yeah.
and that's what
Yeah.
most people know her
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
I love her in this movie. I also love her in The Women as well. She's a little part in
Yeah.
that as well. And I also love that later on in her life, she became a staunch atheist, and I love that for her as well.
Yep.
Speaking as an atheist,
Yeah.
why is her story sad though? What happened?
Uh, I mean, so I think she kind of pulled away from the system, right? Pulled away from
Yeah,
Hollywood.
yeah,
Basically didn't have any money, but
mm,
apparently she would
you're right.
routinely ride around on buses and stuff and to hope people would recognize her.
Yeah,
And then if they rarely did, then she would try to have a conversation with them and talk their ear off. That's just what the stories are. And
I
then
think she had to press charges one time.
she died in a house fire. She just burnt alone by herself.
Yeah.
That's terrible. It's
And there
tragic.
was a
It's one of the
Rest in,
tragic stories in my mind.
rest in peace,
yeah.
Butterfly McQueen. We love you.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
love
and
her
there
so
was
much. Her
there was a
voice and everything.
30 year period that she literally did, like, she didn't do anything. She was basically cast out of
Living off of
everything.
tiny
She
tiny
started to
residuals, I
make
think is what it is. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
she started to make a comeback in the mid 80s because she did Mosquito Coast with
hmm
Harrison
She was in
Ford.
the Wiz as well when it
Yeah,
was on theater.
she started to do some things again, and then it just kind of dried up, and then sadly passed away tragically.
Yeah.
Um,
And then that's just so unfortunate and it's more unfortunate too, where it's just a woman of color as well that
yeah,
happens too,
and she
because
just
I
has a
don't
great
know
voice. I just love
she has
listening. I just
such a
love
great
listening to her
voice.
talk.
And
Yeah,
her name, she named herself Butterfly,
yeah,
right?
She
Butterfly.
did. Yes, yes, yes.
I mean, who chooses that for their name except for every teenage girl I went to high school with?
Because I don't know much about Hattie McDaniel or anything. Like, I know she won the Oscar for Going on with the Wind, obviously, and everything.
And lost it. Yeah.
And yeah, and it's just like so sad. And I guess us as white gentlemen, like, it's one of these things where I'm just like, I want to bring to light that like these actresses of color, especially, they're so fucking fantastic, and we need to use the privilege we have as white people to uplift
Highlight
other
that.
people and
Yeah.
highlight
I would
and be
it
able to
would be
talk about that.
it would be amazing to be able to go back and tell them we're going to be talking about you in
I love you.
Yeah.
80 years. In 80
Yes.
Like,
years,
you're
we're
great,
going to have
by
a
the way.
conversation talking about how,
Yeah.
great job. I say that with silent actors and silent comedians
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were just kicked to the side and stuff. And I wish I could go back and tell them,
I
don't
make the
worry.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make the case that I can make the case that Norman Desmond is such a fucking
Oh,
great character.
Yeah.
Norma Desmond. So
Yeah.
Sunset Boulevard is my default answer. When someone says, "What's your favorite movie?" It's always it's Sunset Boulevard is my favorite movie,
As it should be,
and I
because so
absolutely
good.
love it.
It's so
Yeah.
amazing.
But
So good.
So what's
Made by
your
Hollywood, and it's crazy. Sorry.
that and
Yeah.
what talk about a great double Sunset Boulevard and All About Eve it's a movie,
Perfect.
so it's a great double feature because it's everything that Hollywood was and everything that Hollywood becomes.
And it
Yes.
came out, those are both coming out at the birth of television in every
Yeah.
home.
Mhm.
And all
So
the
not only
change.
is Hollywood afraid of people staying home, not going to the theaters,
Yeah.
but then these people are putting out these like, look how shitty they treat
Right.
people.
Yeah.
Look how shitty
What-
this system is
yeah.
over there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Just the fact that like Billy Wilder didn't give a fuck, and he was just like, I'm just gonna do this, and it's not a good
No, it isn't.
light of
Nope.
Hollywood.
No.
I may or may not be covering that with another movie soon.
I love it. I was just on a podcast where we were going to talk about Sunset Boulevard and All About Eve because they both came out in 1950. It was the 75th anniversary. We came on to do
They
one
also,
episode on the two.
competed.
Yeah. And we ended up talking for like 3 hours, and it turned into one episode for Sunset Boulevard, one episode for All About
So good.
Eve, because they're fantastic movies. But
Yeah, it's that and Mulholland Drive for me. I think those are really good too.
Mulholland Drive is
That's a great double feature as well.
yeah. The darkness that is Hollywood. But
It's not made by people who are working in the industry.
yes,
Billy
from
Wilder had made Double
Was the
Indemnity.
industry.
That
yes,
it was.
Yeah.
Like he
was.
did that.
Yeah.
And David Lynch is at his peak
Yes.
of like this, and the fact that they're making this within that. You know, John Waters did that a little bit with like Serial Mom and some of his
Yeah.
studio movies where
Mhm.
he kind of hated doing those, but like, no, it's so cool when people like Billy Wilder and someone like David Lynch, they're making these movies in the industry,
Yes. Yeah.
tweaking the industry. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
self-deprecating. I can always
It
appreciate
is.
that.
Love self-deprecation.
Yeah.
Self-aware
No,
for
yeah.
sure.
So there you go.
And so one thing about back to Mildred Pierce though.
Yes.
Last week we recorded an episode, or the week before we recorded an episode where we talk about movies that are told in flashback. And this
Yes.
movie came up in our research and we're like, man, but we can't talk about it because we got this. So I love it's you bringing up, Jesse, that that's not really part of the book, but it is
No,
such a
none of
cool
the
part
stuff like that.
of such a cool part of what makes this movie great is
Yeah.
Yeah.
that let's sitting down with the police to talk about the story. I
And
love
I
that.
Yeah.
who doesn't love a good twist ending?
Yeah,
Who doesn't?
for sure.
Who
Perfect.
doesn't love a good, gut punch at the end?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I loved. That's what I love about this movie is that when I first watched it, I instantly gave it a 5 for some reason. And I still give it a 5. I don't care.
Right.
This movie is something where I'm like, this is a movie that if anybody's ever wondering about like old cinema, and if they're like, oh, well, I think old cinema is boring and like black
Yeah.
and white movies and whatever, but
They're so slow, and then
yeah, whatever. And I'm like, no. If you watch Mildred Pierce, this movie is kind of the personification of a messy bitch that lives for drama, honestly. And I love that for it because I'm like, this is a movie that I'm like, you know, it's an Oscar winner. This person won an Oscar for this movie. This is based off a book if you're into that too. But like, I really do think like this is a great example of something where I'd be like, if you don't think you like old movies, I want you to watch Mildred Pierce and just see what you think of it.
Mhm.
Because if you like it, I think there are other movies out there that you will enjoy that
yeah.
are old. And
100%.
there's that. Like, it's just because this movie still is pretty fresh. It's still really cool. Like, it's still like something where there is this, like you said, twist ending. There is this sort of thing. And I don't know. It's just like, it's also interesting because it's like, I don't know how many examples there were before it of like this interesting toxic mother-daughter relationship.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
I
true.
think I haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen this movie. I think this would be a really interesting double feature with Postcards from the Edge
Yeah.
Oh.
because
That's
that's
the
a little
other
more
side of
funny.
Yeah.
but the other side of the
a modern
complicated
take, yeah.
mother-daughter tale. Yeah.
Yeah, like a little bit. Plus, also in California, obviously,
Mhm.
because I guess you could say like Terms of Endearment and like Postcards from the Edge because they were made by the same people. I think like you could definitely do those, but like Mildred Pierce
Yeah,
is something like
James
Postcards from
Brooks.
the Edge. Yeah. I think like that would be really interesting because I'm just like. I don't know because I mean I love Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher always forever, but like you know that has to be like that had to have been a complicated ass relationship.
Oh, yeah.
For as lovely as both of them are, like I love Debbie Reynolds with all my heart. I mean, she's Grandma Aggie in the Halloween Town movies,
Halloween-
like of
Yeah.
course. But like,
Hey,
but
so
it's like
I was just in Halloween
know?
Town this
Yeah, you went there.
October.
Oh,
I
Oregon?
took my middle daughter, my wife, and I took her and her
Hell yeah.
fiance to Halloween Town just because
Hell
of
yeah.
that movie.
No, but it's just like this thing of like, but I can only
Love it.
imagine that like for as lovely as Debbie Reynolds is, and as great as Carrie Fisher was, I mean, she obviously had her own demons that she was very much like open to talk about. But I can only imagine the kind of relationship that we didn't know about.
Yeah.
We knew that they loved each other as mother and daughter, but if you watch Postcards from the Edge, which I haven't seen, but
the story,
I don't know, it's complicated.
Yeah.
She's talked about it in her books and stuff too.
Yeah.
She's
And-
talked quite a bit about it.
And how
When
talk
you have a
about
famous mom
tragic
like that.
with Carrie
Mhm.
Fisher passing away, and then within 48 hours, her mom.
She died, yeah.
That just a
I'm just
tragic
saying.
end. Insane.
I'm just saying, y'all, like go watch this and Postcards from the
yeah,
Edge.
watch
and
this.
report back.
That'd be a good double feature.
Report
love
back, please, because like I don't know, like I'm not trying to say that those folks were toxic, but I'm just saying
But
I'm like,
toxic.
yeah, I think so though.
I'm
I
not
don't know,
saying-
unhealthy.
I'm not saying,
Unhealthy.
but I'm.
Right.
That's what I've heard from the
Yeah.
streets.
That's what I heard in the streets. That's a good one.
Yes.
That's what I heard on the streets. So
That's what I heard on the
as
street.
I was as I was looking up, Butterfly McQueen because I didn't realize that she I knew the tragic ending. I didn't know the middle of her story, but what I did come across was that James Cain, who wrote the book Mildred Pierce, also wrote The Postman Always Rings Twice and
Yes.
Double Indemnity. He is the writer of the books that those movies were based on. Like, this guy was the king of noir books, noir
Yeah.
novels.
Yes.
Like
Yes,
pulp.
very much so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love pulp fiction.
Which is what turned into this.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Pulp
Yeah.
fiction. So we know, Jesse, you give this 5 stars. Dave, is this a 5-star movie for
Amazing.
you?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
easily.
So good.
Yeah. This is one of those movies that I knew I was gonna love it. I just had to make sure I was in the right frame of mind when I turned it on.
Yes.
And because I knew and it was quiet, it was just me, it was dark, big TV, loud speakers. I was able to just kind of get lost in a story. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely
So good.
loved it. Well, we have officially gone longer than we normally do, which is awesome because that means we're having great conversation.
Which happens with me all the time.
It's just
by
what
the
it
way.
is. That's default for Jesse. I'm telling you.
It really
So
is.
Jesse, as we begin to wrap up, remind everybody where to find you. I know it's at Cult Cinema Circle, but
Yes.
is it everywhere? Specific places? Tell us.
Good question. So yes, I'm on Instagram at Cult Cinema Circle, and I'm also on there, Blue Sky, I think, under the same kind of thing, or you look up Cult Cinema Circle, and I'm on there. I'm under Letterboxd as Jesse Kremp, which is just my part of my name. So there's that, and then yeah, I have like an email you can email me at if you want to, and go check out my show if you'd like.
Definitely
Yeah,
check out the
but
show.
yeah, and then like just like I'm just doing this for fun. I like generally doing this. It's cool, and getting to meet people like you, and getting to meet other fans of films, and
Mhm.
getting to chop about whatever. And yeah, it's a good time. So, but thank you both so much for
Yes,
having me on
thank
the
you so
show.
much.
For
Yeah,
sure.
thanks for coming
Talking
on.
about this
I
super
have to,
fun movie.
I have to admit, when you said that, when you were giving your letterbox handle, I really thought you were about to say Jesse Crumholz. And I was like, wow, he really
No,
loves David.
unfortunately
He really
not.
does love David. Like,
He
It's
doesn't know
official.
I exist probably, which is fine.
Yet.
I don't
Yet.
mind that
Yet. He doesn't.
He may or may not also have a whole family,
Yeah.
and but he is on the same
Well,
coast as me, so
a
that's the
mo-
whole
it's
thing
yeah.
too.
It's a modern time, man.
It
It's
is
a modern
I know,
time.
right? But there's that. But no, yes, my yeah, like my last name is like it has that, so I just call myself that for some reason. I don't know why.
It's awesome.
It just made sense for that, but I could also probably just changed it to Cult Cinema Circle, but I was just like, nah, I want to have it this way because why the hell not?
Why not? Well, everybody, that is going to do it for us here on the couch. We had a great time with Jesse. Thank you again, Jesse, so much for joining
Thank you.
us.
Of course.
Go check out Cult Cinema Circle anywhere you get podcasts. He also puts the podcast on in audio form, but on YouTube. It is there. You can check it out there as well. And then go
Yes.
check out us in our newly rebranded, because it's easier to find. We are now at Couch Critics RRT. The RRT is so we can keep the Real Talk affiliation, but we call ourselves Couch Critics.
It's a network.
We are. It's
Yeah.
a network of shows. So check out Couch Critics RRT on YouTube, TikTok, Threads, and Instagram. That's the only places we hang out. Check it out. Send us an email at therealrealtalk@gmail.com. And then if you would find any value in anything that we do, please go wherever you listen to this and leave the 5-star rating and a review. Tell us how we're doing. Tell us what you would like us to talk about next. Because why did
We need the validation and
We
love.
do.
We need the love.
Yeah, I said it at the beginning. Our moms don't listen, so we need someone to tell us that
Yeah.
we're still good enough.
I'll also take some of that like 5-star and review
Yeah,
and stuff.
send
Yeah,
it
too,
to
on my
Jesse's way
show.
as well.
Please.
Dave, how are we going to close out today?
I appreciate everybody being here. Thanks again, Jesse, for being here. Watch what you love what you watch.
Because here at Couch Critics, we're never yucking your yum. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks,
Thank
all.
you.